Hello, boat believers. I am so happy you all are joining me again. Today we're going to do a little more interactive video again. This time we're going to actually be going through an application, um, and I'm going to show you all how to actually apply for college. And I have two apps. I can't wait to show you all. Um, so if you're joining, remember we went over the question, is college for me? And I hope you all have reconciled within yourself whether or not you should go to college. I hope you're planning on it, even for my middle schoolers on here. And then we went to the college search. So remember, we went to Big Future and we sat there and we found some colleges that sparked our interest. But we got that big range of colleges down to just a few, I hope. And I hope you all were able to do that on your own also. But today, our first app we're going to walk through is called Apply Texas. So it's basically for students within Texas who wants to go to some of your public institutions within Texas. So let's get started. So this is my profile. I did this, y'all, when I was in apparently the 11th grade. So my app is pretty old and it's not updated, but I wanted to just do this so that you all had a clue of what the actual application looked like. So on here for your profile, you just have your name, where you stay, your grade level at the moment, your citizenship, your address, again, where you stay, your emergency contact if needed, and your race, and also your password if you don't have one. So next, let's move on to your application. So for your actual application, I went through and I did this one, but let's start a new one so I can walk y'all through it, right? So for those who want to do an application, you could do a 2-year college. So that could be your community college if you want to apply to that. That can be you remember your vocational and your professional schools if you want to do that. That's just tailored towards a specific talent or career wise. You can do that. So, but and apparently they have it for graduate school, y'all. But apparently we're just gonna do our 4-year. We're gonna do our 4-year university, right? So on here they have every school, y'all, in Texas that's 4-year. Every freaking school. So if it's a 4-year, it's on here. They have all the Houstons on here. So I already did one for UT Austin. And I'm sorry, Tech. But I want to just give y'all a wide range. And it's all the same. So you'll still use that same app for the rest of your school. So once you do your profile and you upload all your materials, you just use that same app for that one. But let's do... All right, yeah, I have a friend that goes to Our Lady of the Lake. She studies nursing. So let's do that one. And for when you select your type of application, you can either put U.S., you're a freshman or national, if you're a transfer student. So I want to just give y'all a little advice. If you're having... So a transfer student is typically students who are actually enrolled in another university post high school, right? So if you're having dual credits, you'll still go in as a freshman. So let's do freshman, let's do US, and let's continue, right? So on here, these are just messages about when to apply, how to apply, and also seeing the semesters they already have open. And their address is down here, in case you all want to send your official transcripts to them. Most schools right now are being lenient because they know that some students don't have access right now to those transcripts due to the coronavirus halting us in actually being in school. So right now they already have their fall 2020 application up. and that's about it. But I know a lot of y'all are looking to apply for fall 2021, because I know majority of our students right now are probably in that high school phase. But these are just the dates that they have open. You can press continue. And also, most schools for the fall 2021 applications will start being open mid-August. So for my 11th graders who are already on here, who's looking to actually apply and going into their senior year, just know August is the date you'll want to check back in to apply taxes for a lot of these colleges to open their applications up for fall 2021. I cannot say that. So here are all their so on here it's all their majors. So you have accounting, you want to do the arts, chemistry, just a wide range of all their what all they offer. And this is just your first choice major, right? So you remember we're also on College Board, and we're doing the college search and trying to find what best fits for us. It's also important to just have a general idea, if you do, on what you want to do. And it goes back to those questions I was asking you all about. Where do you see yourself? What talents do you already possess? How can you use them? So let's do something off the wall that I'm not good at talking. Let's do, is it community? Let me see if they have that on there. No. Okay, well, I guess it's kind of like, yeah, let's do this one. Computer info systems and security is kind of like computer science, so let's do that one. So we're going to school for computer science. And also, our second choice is any more engineering. I don't think so. I don't think the school is really built like that. It's mostly for the arts, honestly. Let's do, alright, y'all. Oh, we can do that one. Theology and spiritual action. Yeah, it worked out. So, Our Lady of the Lake, right? So, what you'll want to do, right here, it's in San Antonio. So, what you want to do is you can go and you can look up more information on the school. This is how much you would be paying a year. This is his average after aid. So this is how much you'll come out of expenses. It doesn't mean that's how much you're coming out of pocket. It just means that's how much they average into your tuition, right? So sometimes they can say, your traveling expenses, all that's a whole breakdown, y'all, that we'll get to later. But on here, what you need is your, pretty much, when you're applying, you just need your biographical information. That's just your sex, that's your name, that's your birthday, that's just the basic information. You need your educational background information. So I believe that's every school you went to post college. But majority of information will be centered around your high school, your GPA. Then you need your test scores. Again, check back with your institutions to see if you're required to submit a SAT and an ACT, simply because centers, because of coronavirus, hasn't been available for students to actually accept. Also, check back with your institutions to see about any application fee waivers. I know typically with the SAT and the ACT, students are able to submit those coupon codes to actually get application fee waiver. However, because a lot of y'all weren't able to take that this year, going into your fall 2021 year, I just recommend you all going to talk to your colleges just to see if they're able to waive that for you all, or to see what you all have to do. Also, your residency information, that's just your where do you stay typically, and then your extracurriculum and volunteer activities. It's what you do at school. You play sports, debate team, UIL, whatever that is. You're on a cheer team, volleyball. This is your place to shine. And I want to also point out, it doesn't have to just be in school. So if you volunteer for the community garden, if you volunteer at a nursing home or at a hospital in your spare time, or maybe you volunteer at an orphanage. Like this is right here. This is what do you call that? Yeah, this is what will stand you out in the institutions that you're applying for. Also, your employment information. If you have any internships you was involved in, maybe you work at McDonald's, that's still good. You put that on there. Why? One, because it shows that you're able to work with diverse populations because everybody loves McDonald's. And two, it shows that, again, like I was telling you all about just the hard work. It shows that you're a hard worker, and it kind of, in a way, makes you stand out a little bit too. And again, your custom questions, right? So this one doesn't have it on there, but each university has a custom question that they want the student to answer in the application. And this custom question is so important because it, one, tells you whether or not you'll be able to get funding from your institution, from the university. It also tells you if you're able to get funding from your department. So remember, we're going for apparently theology and spiritual action, and then we're going for computer information and systems, right? So again, I had two apps. So this is the app you'll use when you're applying within Texas. Now I want to show you an app for when you're applying for schools that's outside of Texas, right? And for this application, I want to also take you to some of the questions that you'll be able to answer for your institutions to ensure that, one, you stand out, and two, you're able to get funding. So the Common app, right? So this app is, you'll do one app and it'll be shared depending on how you pay for it. So if you pay for if you pay for an app, say you want to go to Howard, right? If you pay for that app, this same application you use will be shared for Howard and things of such. You still can go in and edit it, of course, but that's what will be used for that app. So this is that app, right? You can do whatever you want to do. You want to learn how to, it's ideas for how to play for college, aka scholarships. Most of y'all be your first time, and then it's just all these resources. Find a college. If you're still not sure, you can do this one, or you can go back to the college search, right? For Big Future. But here we have it. So on this one, since everything else is kind of self-explanatory, for this one, I just want to go over the essays with you all. Right? So for the essays, typically you'll want to write in that sweet spot at least 500 words. I always tell students when you're applying for these, when you're applying for these universities. And here are a few prompts for you all, right? So the first one is, some students have a background, identity, interest, or a talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this is you, share your story, right? So I remember last year, some of y'all from Jamaica, right? Like that's something to share. That's identity, right? That's unique, and you'll stand out. I know some of you all had hardships growing up, right? This is your place to put that on there and just to show you that, one, you have perseverance, you didn't give up, whatever that may be, right? Some of you all were the only black students at your high school, right? Like these are those moments to like show, right? To just show off who you are and how you didn't let your identity or whatever was meant to hold you back, right? So these are those for those essays, and I love these essays because I believe those definitely when you're looking for funding and financial help. I feel like this essay kind of encompasses everything, one, about you, and two, about your drive and your motivation. And I believe that's what universities and colleges are looking for. Second, it's just the questions. The lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you, and what did you learn from your experience? Right? And so for this one, this could be a challenge that you faced. Maybe you faced homelessness, right? you can write about that. How did homelessness affect you? And A, what did you learn back? What did you learn from your experience? And B, how did you not let that set you back? Like, how did that set you up for success in the long run? Or maybe you had an obstacle within a class. Like maybe you were a shy person, but you had a lot to say. How did that just challenge you to actually just get out there, right? And so the second question kind of ties into the first one a little bit if you think about it. And another prompt they may ask you is reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or an outcome, right? So these are the stories you use if you are in high school and say, for instance, there are no healthy lunches, right? In your high school, for some reason, y'all eating Domino's every day, right? And you believe students should have access to not only good education but with quality food, right? And you sat down and spoke with your teachers, your professors. Some high schools, you just talk to your professors or whatever, and you're like, hey, what can I do to change this? So what prompted your thinking? So meaning what stirred you up so that to the point you want to change this, right? And then what was the outcome, right? So it's like, well, did you all get quality lunch? Did you all compromise and you have this type of lunch on this day or this type of lunch on this? Like, this is what you'll do, right? Or maybe it was trash in your streets all the freaking time and you're so sick of it and you want to beautify your neighborhood, right? So maybe you got the whole community together one day and y'all all had a potluck, right? And you all cleaned the community, right? And maybe you all painted a mural out afterwards, right? So these are those type of just ideas thrown out there. And I don't want you all to go in there and lie, but whatever floats your boat. Right? And the second one is kind of like the first one. Just describe a problem you solve, a problem you would like to solve. Remember when I asked y'all in the first video, it's called for me, like, what questions or what problems in the world do you want to solve? This kind of goes into that one. So it's kind of like what is something that sparks your interest? What is something that's in a world that keeps you up at night and you just want to solve it? Like, you can express your ideas, you can express your concerns, you can express your intellect. Maybe it's been research done, and maybe that's you find a solution and you can put it in there. Maybe you know a solution, but you just don't have the access. You don't have the means to actually get it. You can explain that in your essay, and I promise you all that you would shine. Right? And the next one is just discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself and others. Maybe you worked at McDonald's and you've never encountered someone who had less than you, right? And maybe that made you feel, maybe you worked at a homeless shelter and you came in contact with people who had less than you, and maybe that made you feel A, grateful about where you're from and what you have, and B, maybe it made you understand their stories. Like, maybe they're not just homeless people, right? Maybe they're veterans, or maybe they were maybe they're a football player who fell on hard times. Like, right? It's those type of things as personal growth. And you can also compensate, like, maybe you had helped them I don't know, get their talents back. And then the last one kind of goes into all of them pretty much. What can you do that you get lost track of time? Like, what captivates you, what motivates you, what keeps you up, that you can just do. I think for me, it'll be reading books. I love reading books. I don't want to go to that deep, but we used to always go to the library every freaking summer, and that's all we did. So these are just ideas for you all when you're navigating the application process, and then just some ideas for your writing, and also some ideas just for getting in track for your applications. If you wanted to stay in Texas, if you wanted to branch out and go elsewhere, you can do the Common App. the Common App, and just do that application. You don't have to be a current student to do that, but these are just some ideas I want to share with y'all. As always, y'all be safe and have a good one. All right, bye.